Hi there, and here we are at the Business Show 2021, and we're here with Anna, the Chief Editor of the Startup Magazine. And so, for those that don't know about the Startup Magazine, what's it all about?
So we are a print and digital publication that basically want to give startups a platform to share their story, tell us about their journey, their products, what they've been doing, what challenges they've been through, how they've overcome it, to kind of like educate other startups. And then we also speak to like the bigger businesses, organisations and individuals that can help startups along their way. So whether they offer like services or coaching, or we theme each issue. So for example, we do one all about funding, like what sort of funding is right for you, how to get into it, like different types of funding, marketing, sustainability, all kind of like business services that you may need when like starting out a business. We are there to kind of show you off and then help you along the way.
Fantastic. Now, I haven't got the stats about how many startups are created every year in the UK, but I mean, are we talking like any kind of startup? Is it a particular industry?
So we try to focus on like tech-based startups. So as long as there's something to do with tech along the way, that could be like an app or like a hardware solution or anything that relates to tech in some way. But then we cover all sorts from like health tech, to fintech, to tech for good, social impact tech, all sorts. We have one issue that focuses specifically on women in tech and diversity, because obviously we like to champion the female founders out there. Obviously they need a bit of a boost sometimes. They're kind of like overlooked in the tech sector, so that's important to us. But yeah, there's a lot of startups out there and not all of them make it, so we want to try and make that number even bigger of startups that do make it and give the guys out there the best possible chances they can.
Okay, so if there's some businesses out there that think, I'd love to get some exposure, I'd love to get some more information about how we can actually succeed as a startup. How do you do, this is a trick question, how do you define a startup? What would you call a startup?
I love this question, I've been asked so many times. So we don't have any black and white like scale of stats that makes you a startup. If you guys consider yourselves a startup, and obviously within reason, like we will consider you a startup. So like we've covered businesses that have got like 2 people, or some even been a one-man band, and then others have kind of like scaled quite quickly and have like 40, 50 members of staff. We've interviewed businesses that have been running for a year, just less than. We've interviewed businesses that have also been running like 7 years, but it's just taken them a lot longer. We've interviewed businesses that have raised like a couple of million, or some that haven't even started their fundraising journey yet. So there's loads of different ways of defining a startup, and we're not here to be like, yes you are, no you're not. If you consider yourselves a startup, a small business, like you haven't reached that kind of like scalability, that big boost yet, then we consider you guys as, obviously like if Uber came to us or something, or McDonald's, we'd be like, no guys.
Possibly not.
Yeah.
So do you find with especially tech startups, the biggest issue that people are coming across is fundraising?
Yes. Fundraising, and what's been brought up a lot recently is also like hiring. So someone said to me the other day, hiring the right people for your business is just as hard as trying to find funding, which like is, most people will think of the biggest challenge is fundraising. It's so difficult because you're selling yourself and you're selling something that you believe in, and it's not always going to work out the first time. I mean, there's the very rare case where startups do get funding the first investor or kind of like VC that they've approached, and they know that is a rarity, and they know how difficult it is. But when you kind of are kind of getting knocked down, or you're getting these no's, it's really hard to keep that morale and that belief in yourself and your business. Because most startups literally put everything into their business. They literally like eat, sleep and breathe their business, and they're so passionate about it, and that's what makes entrepreneurs like incredible people. Like you've really got to have that special something about you to go for it. So that's why obviously it can be really like hard and disheartening, but there are loads of different like ways of getting funding out there, and it is an uphill battle, but it will be worth it in the end.
And I suppose it's the temptation of a lot of startups is probably, if they get an offer of funding, they jump at it, and it's not always the right relationship and the right way to go about funding, and they might be giving away too much equity. They need advice on that. And that goes the same with recruiting, I suppose. So it's kind of like a two-way thing. You might go, right, okay, so we want to work with this. It's fantastic. Developers are like hard to find. So, but again, you've got to make sure you get the right person, not just jump at the first person that offers you.
Definitely. I've spoken to a lot of founders that say it's really hard to find the people that like believe in your business just as much as you do, and like it's really hard to like kind of not give any away, but like kind of share your baby and your business with other people to get them on board, because they have put so much into it, and like finding the right people that not only click with you on a personal level because you'll probably be spending a lot of time with them, but then also has the right skill set. Obviously we're going through a bit of a skills shortage at the moment. There's so many different like ways that hiring people and bringing other people on board. I mean, there's even like co-founders that have then like split later, and that must be like one of the hardest things. Like I always say to startups that I speak to, finding a co-founder or starting a business with someone is in some ways a bigger commitment and like sometimes a more intense relationship than your actual personal relationships, like with your husband or your wife or your partner or whatever. So yeah, it's very, very difficult, like with a business, trying to share that and get the right people on board.
That's been tough. Now I've got a tough question for you now. I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to answer, but what's your favourite ever startup?
Oh, that's so mean. There's always a few that kind of spring to mind. One of the first startups that I spoke to when I joined Startups Magazine was an app, a digital solution called Safe in the City, and it was by a lovely founder called Gillian. I won't try and pronounce her surname, I always say this, but she's called Gillian, and I can put whoever in touch with her, she's incredible. She basically created this app which makes women feel, it was designed for women, but I guess it can be used by anyone now, makes you feel safer in the streets of London. So it took her the quickest way possible, as Google Maps would, and it took her down this road that she didn't necessarily feel comfortable down. There was like a few dodgy looking places, and she was like, well, I wish I hadn't walked there, I wish I'd walked the longer way and felt safer, but it wasn't really an option. So she created this app, Safe in the City, which was a few years ago now. She's developed it, she's done amazing things recently as well, but it shows you different roads and different places, and you can like go on there and say, oh, there's been a few muggings on this road recently, or there was a police incident, and it's just to highlight and make people feel a bit safer around their own towns and their own cities, so that especially women when they're walking later at night, obviously with the whole thing that went on earlier this year with the whole Sarah Everard thing, which was awful, it highlights that women sometimes do need more technology or solutions or things to kind of help them.
A bit of reassurance.
Yeah, and the work she's doing is just trying to like fight for that equality and just provide solutions to help everyone feel safe. It doesn't always have to be women,
sure,
but so she's definitely, I wouldn't say favourite, but she's got a special place in my heart. Yeah, definitely.
That's fantastic. We should try and check that out.
Yeah.
So if people want to check you guys out,
yes.
How do they find you?
Yes, so we are www.startupsmagazine.co.uk. It's free to subscribe. We have an online community. We also host events, and we want to bring people together. We just want you guys to share your story with us, so we can share it with the world, and to also kind of like educate you as much as we can as well, to help you along your way. So we have content on the website which is uploaded every day. We have the bi-monthly magazines, which I say you can receive for free digitally, or we distribute them to a number of workspaces all across the UK, so there should be one near you guys, but if there is a workspace and we don't, let us know and we'll send some there as well.
That's amazing. Now I can vouch for the magazine, I've read it myself, it's amazing, so thanks for all the hard work that you're doing and helping out all the startups out there, and thanks for your time today.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so
Anna,
much
you're a
for
star.
having me.
Thank you.